Hey everyone, Dustin Crumley here with the Cujo Productions channel. Back again with some more Patriots off-season talk. Uh, let's not waste any time. I first want to talk about, if you haven't seen my free agency signings list yet, that video is up on my channel now. Please check it out. For this video, I want to focus on the trades that the Patriots have made in this off-season. Let's focus on Dwayne Allen first, because this was the first trade that was made. So he's a tight end. And this move all but pretty much confirmed that Martellus Bennett was going to be gone, that he was no longer going to be a Patriot anymore. And I think we all kind of knew that when he broke his silence and said he was looking for $9 million a year. And he went and signed with the Packers. I'm not really sure what the contract length is on that, so I got nothing on that. I'm not going to get into that. I want to talk about Dwayne Allen. Let's start off with his stats from 2016. He had 35 receptions, 406 yards. He averaged 11.6, and he had 6 touchdowns. And to be quite honest, those aren't really all that bad numbers. You got to remember, this is a tight end playing for the Colts. Now, the Colts were a team that really weren't very good. Specifically, their offensive line was complete crap, so Andrew Luck didn't have a lot of time to get the ball off. Dwayne Allen was in my opinion, not really like the best tight end ever, but he was a functional tight end. I could see him leading, tight ends. Obviously, the big name in New England is Rob Gronkowski, but the Patriots, especially recently, have had a history with wanting a 2 tight end system, and I think it's because when back in 2007 they had Ben Watson, and that was kind of it, and they kind of then in 2010, I want to say, I'm not sure, they had Gronk and Aaron Hernandez. We're not gonna talk about Aaron Hernandez much. And ever since then, it seems like New England has really loved having a 2 tight end kind of system, which is also why they picked up back in 2014, I'm sorry. They picked up Tim Wright from Tampa Bay, then they let him go, and they brought in Scott Chandler the next year. He didn't really do much. They let him go. They brought in Martellus Bennett this past year. He helped out a lot. He really contributed. So I am bummed to see him go. But Dwayne Allen, I think, is a very serviceable tight end. He's very good. You just heard me read off his stats. 6 touchdowns is actually not all that bad, considering 2014 he had 8. That's the most he's ever had in one season in his whole career. His first season was in 2012, so he's been around for a few years. He's definitely got some league experience. He's a veteran, and I think he's going to be really good. He's going to fit in really well, especially with Gronkowski. We don't know if he's even going to be on the field for the whole season. He's been pretty injury-prone as of late, and this last injury he had to suffer, it could be one of those things where Belichick and the Patriots, they want a safety blanket, and I think Dwayne Allen more than fills that role. So overall, I really like this pick. I think it's a very good pickup for the Patriots. I think they gave up a 3rd round pick for him, maybe a 4th. I know they gave up like a middle draft pick. So not too much giving up in this one. Next, I want to talk about Coney Ealy from the Carolina Panthers. The Patriots traded a 2017 second-round pick for him. In exchange, they got Ealy and a 3rd-round pick. What can I say about this guy? I think he's a very underrated defensive end. And some people actually think that he probably would have been the MVP of Super Bowl 50 had the Panthers won. In that Super Bowl, he had 3 sacks and 1 interception and a forced fumble. So he played a very tough Super Bowl game. And you got to think with the Patriots, they're definitely built to repeat. as champions. I think they are, and I don't just say that because I'm a Pats fan, but just the moves they've been making in this offseason have been absolutely fantastic, and yeah, and this is definitely one of the better moves, I think. I think this is like the second best, maybe third best move. I think this. I'm gonna put this at second because Stephon Gilmore. We don't know how that's gonna work out. I think the Brandon Cooks move was probably the best, but I'll get to that in just a second. But Coney Ealy, his stats for 2016, he had 32 combined tackles. 13 of those were assisted. So I think 19 tackles altogether. Yeah, 19. Okay, my math sucks. He had 5 sacks and 1 interception. He is a standout, to say the least, a very good player. And I think the Patriots, they got a steal in this one. They only gave up a second-round pick. This guy, he's very young. He's 25 years old. I don't know what his contract is looking like. I should probably get that out of the way now. I don't know what any of these players' contracts are looking like. And back to Dwayne Allen for a second. Dwayne Allen is 27, so he's also like very young, entering his prime. Coney Ealy, though, back to him. Sorry, I just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit. I think this guy brings a fantastic pass rush to your team, and much like in the free agency signings video that I made, I mentioned that the Patriots lost Jabal Shurt and Chris Long. So I think this move really complements that really well. I think this guy is going to complement Trey Flowers and Lawrence Guy, because I really doubt Lawrence Guy is going to start over him. And Trey Flowers, if I'm not mistaken, he led the team in sacks. I think he had like 7 last year or something like that. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Coney Ealy, I think, as I said, provides a very substantial pass rush, and New England's pass rush is going to be very vicious next year. Like it was this past year, kind of, sort of. They're going to have some nasty defense coming up, and Coney Ealy is definitely going to be a big contributor to that. I also kind of think he's pretty athletic, especially since he's got some interceptions. And, for a defensive end to get a pick, that's a cool thing. That's always nice to have. I think this guy brings some versatility to the Patriots. He's a nasty pass rusher. He's very young, as I said. He's 25. So, again, don't know what his contract is looking like. But for the Patriots to get this guy for just a second-round pick, I really think this is a steal for the Patriots. This is classic Belichick getting a steal. And I can't see this trade not working out in New England's favor. Now, that's not to say that I don't think Carolina will make good with that extra second-round pick. I don't know if they have more than one or if they didn't, and that's why they wanted just a second-round pick. But this guy is a brute, and it's really cool to have him. Back to Carolina. Sorry about that. I want to know why they traded him for a second-round pick. Maybe they just think he's just not working out. I don't know how that could be. His numbers definitely say otherwise. But who knows? Honestly, I don't care. Thank you, Carolina. Make good with that second-round pick. And last and certainly not least, Brandon Cooks. This one was huge. There had been all kinds of rumors and all that good stuff about the Patriots inquiring about Brandon Cooks. And for a hot second, it looked like they weren't going to get him. But they ended up getting him, and there was rumors that Malcolm Butler was going to be in the mix for it, a first-round pick in Malcolm Butler. I don't know how true that is. I know that was just rumors. The Patriots traded their 32nd overall pick for this year's draft to get Brandon Cooks. And I believe they got a... Oh, the Patriots also got a... Oh no, they sent to New Orleans a third-round pick. So all they got was Brandon Cooks, and they gave up their first-round pick for this year, and they also gave the Saints their third-round pick. Oh, they got a fourth-rounder from the Saints. Okay, number 118 overall. So the Patriots, as of right now, don't have a pick until the third round right now. So that's going to be interesting to see. But back to Brandon Cooks. Sorry, I had to dig up the trade. He's 23 years old, so he's very young. I'm actually older than he is. This past season he had 78 receptions. 1,173 yards. He averaged about 15 yards a catch, maybe. I don't know what that. Something like that. I think it's like 15 yards a catch. He had 8 touchdowns, which is good for second most in one season in his career. The most he's ever had in one season was 9, and that was in 2015. You also have to keep in mind he was playing for the Saints, and no offense to the Saints, they're kind of in a spot where they're definitely in a rebuild. And again, much like the Carolina Panthers trade, I don't know why they would go and ship Brandon Cooks off like that. I don't know what his contract situation is, but he's a very, very good wide receiver, a former first-round pick in 2014. He went 20th overall out of Oregon State. And I was just kind of like, I was actually quite shocked that New Orleans was even trying to ship him off. As I stated, he's a very young guy, 23 years old. You have one of the best active quarterbacks in Drew Brees. He needs guys to throw to, and I get that, he's one of those guys who thinks, hey, he can make other receivers good, and he could, because Drew Brees, much like Tom Brady, has had a list of different receivers to throw to. But with this one right here, Brandon Cooks, I couldn't believe they were even trying to ship him. As I stated many times, he's 23. There was definitely a lot of uprise to him. He had 8 touchdowns for a Saints team that wasn't really all that great. But the problem with the Saints isn't their offense, it's their defense. Their defense has been very lackluster, and I think that's why they wanted Malcolm Butler. So again, I don't know how true those rumors were, because the restricted free agency of Malcolm Butler, that's a very tough situation right there, and I'm not even going to begin to go into it, at least right now. As I said in my last video, if you want me to cover that, I will do so. Just put it in the comment section below. But anyway, as far as Brandon Cooks goes, this guy brings a lot to the table. He's fast. He's like a Chris Hogan-esque kind of receiver. He can outrun a lot of guys, and we've seen what Tom Brady can do with guys like that, like Hogan, who can outrun a lot of guys. So this guy provides another option. The Patriots are going to be a very dangerous team this year on paper, and Brandon Cooks, I think, is the best acquisition this whole season, because it's just huge. This is a blockbuster-esque kind of deal. Absolutely huge. Absolutely fantastic. I'm so happy that he is coming to New England, taking his talents to Foxborough. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out, and I think he's going to have a fantastic season. I think the Patriots are going to be a pretty good team, and Brandon Cooks is going to be part of the reason why. So that's it, guys. That's all I have for you today. Let me know in the comment section, much like the last video, what kind of moves has your favorite team made? Are you happy with those moves? Whatever you want to talk about, throw it in the comment section below. What do you think of the Patriots making these trades? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think they're bad? I don't know why you would think they're bad, but if you think they are, let me know. And as always, have a great day. If you're not having a great day, I hope it gets better. Until next time, I'm Justin Crumley, and this is Cujo Productions, signing out.